There we go. Now my mic is live. Just want to test my sound real quick. Test 1, 2. Just want to set this. Sorry for doing that in front of you here. I just didn't have the ability to do it until I went live. Or the smarts to do it until I went live here. Okay, here is, I'm going to flip this camera around. Okay. Flip the camera around here and we'll get started. So my mission tonight is to finish up this piano. And I'm going to go and put this camera on a little stand here. The thing that, the only thing that still bothers me about the piano right now has to do with this damper, and really the dampers in this section. If you watched previous episodes, you'll know that I've tried to change the felt to a wedge, and even though it's a wedge and whatever else, the key bounces really easily when I hit it really hard and in a certain way. Now it's not, like if we sent this piano out the door, I don't know if anyone would ever notice, okay, on this. The damping's pretty good on it, but I know, okay, and I want to try and see if I can get it just a little bit better. And I think that the root cause of the issue is that the damper underlever doesn't have enough weight to it to settle down as easily. Now you could say, well, the key's the thing bouncing. Why? Maybe it's the weighting of the key. But let me ask you this: if I took away lead from the front of the key, thus making the back of the key relatively heavier than it was, or let's say I added weight to the back of the key, which I wouldn't do, but if I did that versus adding weight to the damper underlever, which would add more weight or a feeling of weight to the touch? And the answer is the key, because my finger feels the weight of the key the whole time I'm stroking pushing the key. But the damper underlever isn't contacted until the key is already, whoa, that was exciting, until the key is already in motion. And so the weight of the damper underlever is a little bit less noticeable that way. So I'm going to see if I can come up with something, and I'm not sure what yet. I haven't thought it through yet. I'm going to see if I can come up with something to weight the damper underlever just a little bit and see if that helps the problem of things just flying away and not stopping the sound as quick. So maybe follow me around a little bit here, and I'm going to look and see what we can come up with. First of all, I'm going to pull the action out, and playing the piano. Since I'm not playing the piano right now, I'm not going to use that mic. I'll just use my phone mic. Let me know if there's any issues with that. But let me get my hands free. So we're going to take the action out. Oh, and feel free to comment. I can see, even though I'm streaming now directly from my phone, I can still see comments, I think, in the chat. So if you have questions or whatever, things are a little more relaxed tonight for me. I'm not doing an appointment here. I'm in my own shop. So, sorry, I'm just fiddling with the camera here. So you're welcome to ask questions. And, yeah. So let me pull the action out. That's what I was going to do. Cheek blocks. This is the key up-stop rail. We'll put that on at the very end. All it does really is keep the keys in place for shipping the piano when it's on its side. And that's its only function, really. So I'm going to pull the action here. And we're going to go inside this action. We're going to look at this underlever here, which is right there, the damper underlever. And I can feel it. There's just no mass to it. You know, yeah, there is a lead in there. I can show you that, but it's not enough really to do anything. And even this one does feel heavier to me than that, okay? So I want to see if I can just help that settle down a little bit. What am I going to use? I actually don't know right now, but I think I might have some, I may have some lead wire that's part of a kit that I bought. Don't use very much, but it's, some of you may have heard of the Steinway touch weight system. I bought a kit so I could measure action parts and their weights, you know, really accurately if I needed to for tweaking things. Let's see what I have in here. Aha! Okay, I do have just a little bit of lead wire. I don't know if it's enough to do anything. My other options, and I'm going to grab this out here. My other option could be, and look, I can't remove this part. These parts, these old parts, they're glued in, okay? So anything I do, I have to be able to access from where it is right now, which my access is somewhat limited. All right, but I could get a piece of wire in front of this lead where it would have maximum effect on the end of this. So I would be able to drill a hole on the front of there, but probably only one hole. You know, we're talking a small hole just to fit this lead wire in there. I'm gonna get a key lead. Let me go see if I can track down a key lead if I have one floating around. But I don't know where I would put it, you know, unless I glued something to the end of this, which would be kind of hokey, but I would try and do it in such a way as it would never come off. But let me see. The other option is to add weight to the damper head itself. Let me pull that off and show you. This may be the better option to put the damper head, to weight the damper head itself, okay? It'll have a similar effect. And there's lots more wood here where I could drill in and put a weight. I mean, I don't want the key to feel heavy, right? You know, if it doesn't work in this head, I could always drill it out, plug it up with a plug, and you know, black the sides, and no one would know, no one would have any idea that we tweaked with it. I think I'm going to try for this first if I can find a small key lid. Just 1 minute. Let's see what we have. I can't even remember where I put my key leads for some reason. I don't know why I can't remember. It seems like kind of an important thing, right? I might be out is the issue. Aha. Nope. So you know, I really like organization. I'm a big fan of it. Someday I might actually achieve it in here. No, we do have some level of organization, but I just haven't been in the shop as much lately. So I don't see any key lids there. Let's see, I'm looking on my shelf of stuff. Just see if I put something in a smart place and actually label that. Usually when I'm doing a leading job, I get lead for that purpose and use it up. That may be what happened here. So let me check one more area here. This is a, yeah, look, there's a plate suspended. That's a fun hoist that we have there. It's really worth its weight in gold right there. Okay, I have old tuning pins. I don't have any lead here. I'm really baffled. I feel like I should have more. I don't know where that would have gone. Even just one would do the trick. So, I'm surprised I didn't put any in this kit, but I didn't. I also have a scale. I would maybe where I put the scale, maybe that's where it would be. But I don't even see my scale right away. Someone might have borrowed it. Okay. Yeah. I know this isn't super exciting for you. Huh. Let's see if I put something up just where I can, just out of view or something up on my shelf here. Maybe something got pushed to the back. Interesting. Why no key leads? Well, I mean, I could use something else, but I really wanted to use that if I could. I am on the hunt. Let's see if I put something in my drawers here. I bet I loaned it to somebody or gave it to someone working on a project, or they helped themselves to it. Let's see here. Do have a little closet here, which is good for tuning or drying down pianos. It's a great feature of the shop here. And well, no luck there. Well, let's try some wire. We'll use some lead wire, and we will be kind of we'll start small and see if just a little bit is enough to make a difference. So let me put this on the tripod here. This isn't something I have to do regularly, so it's not like, oh, I need to just grab this and that. I'm kind of making it up, right? I'm kind of making up a solution for a unique issue that I don't run into often. Never run into it, actually. Okay. So here's my lead wire. Need to get a drill bit that's good size for it. Go grab a drill bit real quick. And one good approach if you're going to drill something in a nice piano part is to, first of all, just do a test in a dummy piece of wood, right? Let me get my drill bit going. So I'm going to go, we'll just do it in this piece of maple, which was a little different than this softer wood. Just to see how the fit is on this lead wire. So that's a little loose. I'd like to just have it be snug and kind of tap it in with a hammer and call it done. Not have to use any epoxy or anything. So let's go down. This bit is about 5/1000ths of an inch smaller than the last. Let's see if it's any better. Okay. So our battery's doing okay there. All right, I'm going to see how this fits, if it fits any better in this block. It's tight. Can I get it through? This is the question. All right, this is like 3 bears. You know, I could have just mic'd this right with a micrometer, but instead I'm doing it the trial and error way. So. Okay, this bit is only 3/1000ths smaller than the first. See how that does for us. And that is a winner. I can put some glue in there. It's still a little loose. Let me get a little tighter. All right. Have a good feeling about this one. No, I don't. That's too loose. I think that's the same size as my first one. Come on, Hiram. Come on. You know, it could also very, very likely be that nobody put the bits, or somebody put the bits in the wrong order. Okay, we're gonna try this hole. Oh, that's good. That fits like a glove. Yeah, I think I like that one. Maybe. Just gonna confirm. Because I don't want anything that's gonna pop out. Don't really want a mess of glue or anything. Oh, there we go. That is the winner. Now that's kind of snug when I put it in there. So I'm going to use that one. Full show. All right. So I'm going to go into here. Now, I don't know how much lead I want to do. I'm going to go, for now, just on the sides. Kind of part way in. And that'll leave me room. I can do 2, I can do another, and I think I'm going to start with 2 lengths of it. So I'm going to go ahead and Let's see if this is in view yet. I'm going to drill this just on this block that we've been using for camera. Why not? Okay, got through that. Piece of cake. All right, 2 holes. I'm going to thread the lead through that. And I might just break it off by bending it a few times, or I might want to clip it. I'll get some end nippers. That's fun to say. Lead is so soft, it should come off fairly easy here. There we go. That's pretty clean. Okay, pretty clean job there with that piece of lead in there. It would have been fun to weigh this to see the weight difference, but I'm not really interested in the numbers. I don't have to duplicate this or anything. I'm just trying to get it to work, right? So I don't think this experiment would be repeatable in any way. The end on this isn't so great. Let's use the other end. We'll clip this, just bend it a bit. Or I'm going to clip this fresh. It's just a little wide for the hole. There we go. I can push that all the way through and clip it. Good. Okay, 2 pieces of lead. Let's see if even just that will make this damper sit down a little better. Okay. So we're going over here. Putting this back in. Again, I repeat, this is not like a common thing that I need to do to a piano. This is a very, very old piano. Kind of a unique circumstance where these dampers aren't sitting down. I think it's because the old parts just have not enough weight to them. Okay, that's a little early. Let's try and time that better. Okay. That was no good. I can feel it drops a lot more readily than either of its neighbors, and these were working pretty well. So if I could just get this guy to work better, just a little bit better, I think we're home free. So, get all my stuff out of the action cavity. Drill. Hey, if you want to see what my hammers look like after marking them with carbon paper, voicing, whatnot, in both positions, adding hardener, you know, I've got marks, right? All over the hammers there. Anyway, that's what we're dealing with, you know. The pair on the right is the normal position. The pair on the left is when the action shifts over from using the left pedal, right? And if you're not familiar with what that looks like, there's a little lever back here, and when I operate the left pedal, it moves over and pushes the action against this butterfly spring. So the action's compressing the spring, it moves over, the strings hit the felt,
in a new position, which can be voiced with needles to be softer felt than the regular position, the 3 marks set on the right, and then it sounds softer. Okay, so that's how that works. That's kind of a little bit of a detour from what we're doing, but what we're trying to do is get this damper to work better. If you're just joining in, I added lead wire, a couple pieces of lead wire into the head of this damper to see if we can get it to sit down a little bit. Just a little mucho better. Okay. And of course, I left a drill bit in there, but I got it out in time. So we will look at the action. Let's see. Still not doing, still not. It's damping better. I'm going to cut the damper felt on the slit that we added a wedge on the front. I'm going to cut the wedge a little deeper so it puts a little more pressure on the side strings, okay? And I think from there we'll probably be done. We just added a little bit of weight to that head. It's not going to affect me playing it, you know, it's fine. Okay, let's pull this head out. And so there were those lead wires again that we put in there just to make it a little heavier. And I'm going to make a slit in this felt. And also maybe squeeze this a little longer so it makes more contact with the strings. Okay. Do my cutting first. And of course, someone cleaned things so thoroughly that I need another razor blade. You can't have too many razor blades sitting around. That's my motto. Okay. I'm thinking of this Saturday Night Live skit from a long time ago with Dan Aykroyd as Julia Child, and he's cutting on the sides. Oh my, I've cut the dickens out of my finger. It's squirting blood off. I could just picture me doing something like that on a live stream. But, so I'm going to grab this this damper and this wedge. I'm going to just put a slit in it with my razor blade. Just to slit it a little deeper, because I noticed that the side strings weren't muting as well. Okay, so this will kind of help the felt spring out and make contact with those side strings. Then I'm going to squeeze, but I'm not squeezing to make it more narrow. I'm squeezing down deep in the fat part of it to elongate that fatter part so that it makes contact with the string better and kind of balances the tilt of the head a little better than it was, okay? Now, that looks pretty good to me. So now I'm going to tighten this in. Now I want to see if this is, the back is lifting before the front now, so I need to tilt that. I want to make full contact. I think we're okay. Let's see the timing on the head. It's a little early, but actually it's not so much early as these are late right here. I'm going to fix that. These have worn down, and so now the felt has squished down just since we installed it. So this whole group is not lifting with the rest. There's a trick the guys, I'm going to use these pliers. There's a trick the guys at Steinway, the damper department, said. They said they'll take these pliers here and grab the wire, you know, just above here, and then crank it up like this, pry it up against the underlever, and that will make it lift earlier, right? It makes this longer so the key comes in contact sooner with the bottom. But let's see if I've never actually been able to make that trick work very effectively for me. I'm gonna see if I can. In this case, it worked really well. And with these, in this case, it's bent something kind of fierce there. Let's see here. Some of them I might have to unscrew, screw back in again, which is fine. This piano has required a lot of fussing with the dampers, more so than usual. These old dampers, they're antiques, you know, and they're adjusting like antiques. It's if I can help it in the future, I'll very much try and encourage people to put in new back actions on these Steinways where possible. Just because I think it'll work so much better. Most of them, though, that I've done are fine. But this piano's caused me to kind of rethink my strategy on that. Okay. I'm just going to continue to make these. So I'm loosening the screw down here, putting the underlever down, pushing the pedal up just to where it hits the other, where I can feel it hit the other dampers. And then look, that's early. So I'll push it up under my thumb, I can feel it, and then I'll loosen the screw again and let it go down a bit, just to where it's gonna lift with the rest, okay? So that timing's a little more even. You see how this one doesn't move at all? And these are moving. That's what we're fixing. So if it is like that, where it's not moving as early, that means it's damping earlier than the rest of the notes. Which musically on this piano, I played it a lot earlier today. It was so beautiful. I was having fun. I thought, oh wow, I can really practice on this piano. But I found that musically it wasn't a problem. Like I didn't say to myself, oh, those dampers are lifting late. But I just know it'll be a cleaner experience musically if I can address this now. Again, I want to send this piano out the door soon, and I want it to be the best we can make it. Antique parts and all. And if you haven't seen the other series, of course, all the other parts in the action are new. It's just the what we call the back action, the damper heads, the under levers that lift them, and the wires. Those are the original. Okay. Here, I need to make this lift earlier. Okay, this one's not moving. Like that lift earlier. New parts would be so much easier to work with here. Well, I'll stop griping. Okay, need to make this lift. This one's too late. Same as the others. Okay, just a couple more. Just making some tweaks to the dampers, aligning them the same. This one has a twist. Get the twist out a bit there. This one's also now twisted. Fix that. Doing pretty well here. This one's still late. Just a little bit. Yeah, these dampers have required a lot of patience. Okay, that section's lifted a lot more uniformly. Some of these I'm not going to push because I've already tried to snug them and treat them kind of like a new set of dampers, get them all aligned, and some of them are so fragile, like I dare not push them too much by tweaking them around. Okay, now I just need the last two here a little earlier. Talk about patience, just even getting this screwdriver to go in this little tiny slot down here. I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm up against. Let me take this off the tripod. So this is what I'm trying to even out. You can even see it move down here at different rates, right? These are definitely late, and I'm going to try and get my screwdriver in here. Now, when you look at the parts down below, it could be a little like that's, you're really seeing any tiny little difference, and so. Okay, it's pretty good. I mean, there's kind of an early one here, right? See that? I'll fix that one. But just getting the screw in the slot on these is a little tricky. And there's a tool that's meant to make it easier, but it doesn't fit these very well. So if you're wondering, why isn't he just using that tool? That's why. Can't. Otherwise I would. Okay, so that's pretty darn good for lift and evenness of lift. Okay, and that looks what it looks like up top. Okay. All right, let's turn on our piano mic and play it a bit. And since I've oh, by the way, if there's any questions or any, anything, just feel free to. Oh, Jeffrey Boyle, welcome. Kirk Loy, always mic your drills, especially small ones. Yeah, no kidding. Kirk Loy also says it's hard for those few thousandths adjustments to show up by drilling by hand. True, true. All right, but we got it. We got it. Okay. Stick this on the tripod. We'll get our piano mic hooked up. And in the process, the tuning, the first fine tuning on this held pretty well. I'm sure it's flat again, but then I was beating on it today intentionally, playing it, playing a lot of heavier things and kind of working it in. And so I'll probably want to put another fine tuning on it. Just check we have the mic working. That's good. Okay. So that's our piano mic that makes it sound a little better. It's not a super expensive one, obviously. Okay. Prepare to hear a piano played. Make sure I didn't leave any tools in there. Bring my rolly chair. These down. I'm remembering I heard a couple notes when I used the unicorda pedal that unicorda pedal is the left pedal, soft pedal, a lot of people call it. I heard a few notes I wanted to kind of voice. Push the unicorda pedal and listen to it. The C sticks out. I'm gonna get rid of that. Soften softening the felt with my chopstick needle here. Hit the wrong string grooves a little bit. I'm just hitting it to kind of work that regular position. There, it's just right where I want it. This is with the Una quarter pedal again, just softening this. That's with the Una quarter, here's without. You hear the sounds a lot more live, comes out quite a bit. I'm just going to take out a little bit of the higher frequencies on these. Just a little much for me. Tuning now. Before we tune it, I'm going to show, in fact, we might not tune it tonight, but I also need to make a real pitman for this piano. The pitman, let me show you what that is. Okay, the pitman is down here, and it's the dowel. Let me get you in closer. It's the dowel that lifts the damper tray when we depress the pedal, right? And I stuck a dummy pitman in there that's adjustable, and I need to make a real one. Okay, because this one's just a dummy. All right. So I'm going to lift the tray, rock this forward, and pull it out. And there's our pitman, adjustable pitman. And I'm going to make something similar right now. And I want to make it the same length because I adjusted this where it's working just kind of how I want. And on this piano, I'll show you how unadjustable it is on the bottom. Okay, it's a rod with no threading or adjust nut, nothing at the bottom. it's an old piano. That's kind of the way they were. So what we have to do is just cut a pitman to the right length so that we'll have a little bit of free play before it hits the underlevers, but not so much that it kind of messes things up in the feel of the pedal. And then we'll tighten this screw. This screw is just for when you take the lyre off, okay? Some pianos will have this screw, some will have an L bolt that comes down. It's so when you take the lyre off, this lever doesn't drop so much that the parts come out, the pitman, or come so far out of adjustment that the piano won't work when you set it up again. So we'll adjust this at the end. But right now we need to cut a pitman. So I'm gonna go get a dowel, and so here's the pitman. We're gonna go get a dowel and try and do this. Now I always find that when I try and mimic this distance exactly, it's always short. And I think it's just because it's such a fine adjustment, okay? So let me go get a maple dowel. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am going to mark this dowel, and I am going to add, these are felt punchings that I use. It's just noise reduction. Remember, anytime you see felt in the piano, it's just for noise reduction, right? So let me get my kit. This is my pitman kit, and get some punchings here. You know what I want to check first is if I magically have one that's the right size that I already cut that was too short for another. Look at that. That looks really close. I'm going to give this one a try that I made that was too short in another piano. It might be too short. But why do more work than I have to, right? Or why do it twice? Okay, so here's this block. Now I'm going to reach this in here. I'm looking down from the top of the piano. I can see where I'm headed, what hole I'm headed to, down in that lever. I drilled a little recess in it so that these punchings would fit in, okay? Then I put it in this recess that I drilled. I drilled a recess up in here too, so it holds that in place. Now let's see how the length is. You know, it's too much play. It's too short. See how much the tray moves before these move? That's way too much. So we'll make a new one. That's why I didn't use this one before, I'm guessing. And you say, well, are they all the same length? No, I don't think they are. They're kind of a custom deal, but they happen to be probably really similar. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it a little bit longer because it's always too short when I cut it. Okay, so I'll take you to my saw here. Join me at the saw. Okay. So I'm sure you've all seen a bandsaw work before, but it's just kind of fun. Yes, I did just throw you on the floor. Sorry about that. Luckily, I have my phone armor on here. So we have this. Now, before we glue anything, you know, we're gonna just mock it up dry, okay? So I'm gonna stick these punchings in one below in the lever. There's a hole. And got it. You wanna look down this exciting hole there? I got it down there, right? You can see that. It doesn't want to focus on anything but the under levers. But it's down there. And then there's another hole up here that will sit in, okay? Then I'll just stick my Pitman dowel in here. It's dry. Okay, and I don't need, okay, now this is too long, which is good because I can cut it shorter. Right, I need this to move before these about a couple millimeters. Right now it's resting on them, okay? So I'm gonna cut this just a little shorter. Just a tad. I do have a few videos on how to convert an old Steinway Pitman system to a new one. Those videos have not done very well, probably because people didn't know what it was about. You know, it's kind of a, they're like, what, a Pitman? But essentially it's where I drilled that larger hole so that this is floating, reducing friction in the pedal. It's what the new pianos do, but back when these Steinways were made, they didn't do that. It was just a small hole that had a cloth and it would get gunked up and there was too much friction. Okay, I'm just gonna cut a little bit off of this. It's probably 2 millimeters, if that I cut off. I'm just proud that I didn't cut it too short, because that's what always happens. I don't have to. Not that dowels are terribly expensive, but you know, the pride thing. Okay, let's get this in here. Right there, and then underneath the tray. Okay, now we're gonna see how it lifts with the pedal. Oh, look at that. There's about 2 millimeters there-ish, and then it lifts the under levers. That's what I want, right? Oh, you're saying, oh, there's an early one. Okay, I'll fix it. While we're here, where was that guy? Right here, right? Okay, let's fix him. Might as well. I'm kind of done with these dampers though on this piano, to be honest. I'm kind of just, that's it. I have to use the pliers for it. Yeah, this is why. This is why I'm kind of done. Now it's too late, of course. Tell you, this is not easy when, I mean, damper works hard enough, let alone when you've got antique parts that you're working with, you know? Okay, we're gonna go with that. Goodness, a little bit. Okay. Okay. Who made me do that? Who made me fix that? Just kidding. Okay, so now we've got that 2 millimeters of play in the tray, and then the under levers lift. That's you know, the lost motion we need. Okay, so I'm good with that. So we'll take our Pitman out and we'll put some glue on him, and we're good. Now over time that might compress a little bit, and then become a little much. Well, we can always, you know, add felt to the felt, whatever. We can change that adjustment. So let's grab some glue. In this case, I just want to place the glue down on the bottom. This is thick glue. I hope it doesn't run. I'm kind of playing with fire here. I just have to keep it rotating so I don't drip, right? Okay. Oh, got it on the keypad. I'll have to fix that. Okay. Now I'm going to center that where it needs to go. Very good. Okay. Now just the pressure of that will keep that in place as it's drying. It's just fine. Now there's another adjustment we need to do, a final adjustment with the pedal that's important. I'll show you what that is. Okay, for this we need the action in place. Okay. All right. So what we're looking at here. Let me show you. Okay, what we're looking at, there's an upstop adjustment that needs to be done for the pedal too, okay? I'm gonna play some sharps, and I'm gonna look at how high they lift the damper heads. Then I'm gonna depress my pedal, and I want it to go just to that height. You know what, it does, but it's not doing it for the right reasons. You know, so it's not good enough. All right, so let me show you what I mean. There's a rail in there that's stopping those damper levers, but also down here, we need, you know, for all pedals, you have kind of a point that it starts to lift things, and we set that, and then an amount that it travels, and then you need a limiter to stop it. And that would go on a Steinway. You just glue a block of felt on the top of this lever that's the appropriate thickness, okay? So right now, what's stopping it? It's not hitting the wood, okay? What's stopping it is a rail in the action that's called the damper upstop rail, and we don't want that to be the force that's stopping it. So we need to cut a felt block. Let me grab that. This is scrap hammer felt that's left over from making hammers, and I've cut it, but this is way too thick. I need to cut this a lot thinner. I've tried with razor blades, but the easiest way to do a straight cut is just on the bandsaw, I think. If I can keep from cutting myself, which I will. Now, I have a couple thicknesses I can play around with. I'm guessing this smaller one's going to do the job on this piano. But most Steinways will require kind of a thicker block. All right. By the way, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. It's a lot more enjoyable than if I was just having to do this. Okay. So I'm going to stick this felt. Just dry fit it for now. This might be a little long, you know, but it doesn't matter actually. I'll just put it on the top of there, just dry, and see if it compresses against the wood. Okay, it's hitting the wood. I like that. Right, I can tell because why? Here, I'm gonna hold the camera in an awkward way under my chin. See if you can still see up there. I can't push this out. I can tell it's making pressure and contact right here. So the felt block is what's stopping that, okay? What did I do here? There we go, okay. So let's check up top. Let's just check it's doing what we want, okay? We press the sharps quite firmly. Why the sharps? Why not the naturals? The sharps, because they're a different lever, they lift higher. See that? So we're gonna press the sharps and then the pedal. And it almost goes up to there, right? But I can see these winking, right? So that's correct. And what that essentially does is from a musical standpoint, it makes it so that when you pedal, you feel like you have enough throw, enough motion. If that were too shallow, it just doesn't feel right, okay? And it also makes sure that when we push the pedal, we're not jamming it up onto that upstop rail that's down there. If you look at a previous episode where I'm working with the dampers, that's where I set that upstop, but you can't see it from here. But it's a rail that goes along the whole length of the dampers with felt on the bottom of that rail so that these don't fly away much higher than the key lifts them, because that wouldn't feel good, because they would go up and then they would drop back down on the back of the key and it would not feel good. Okay, so this is the appropriate adjustment for that. So let's glue in that felt block. Where's my tripod? I mean, the gluing process is simple, right? You just put a dab of glue on it and stick it on that lever. Nothing fancy, but I'm gonna trim this up and make it look a little better. It's currently, it's a little longer than is customary. And so if I saw this, I'd be like, oh, that's a weird shaped block. Not that it matters functionally, it's just a pride thing. So I'm gonna trim this in half with the razor blade. Be right back. Okay, now we will put some felt on there, and I'm going to angle it the way that this lever is going to be. There's kind of an angle, a taper to the felt block here, and I'm going to angle it so that it makes sense with how this lever is going to be angled up by the time it goes up there. Okay. Now the further out it is on that lever, it'll stop it a little sooner, and that's where I tested it, so I need to make sure I put it back there, not further back. Okay, I might as well tighten this screw on down here, because I already know this lever is where it's going to be when it's adjusted properly. Let me get a screwdriver. Okay, we don't want this screw to act on the lever whatsoever. Hey, that rhymes. We just want it to not make so that when the liar's removed, it doesn't drop down so much that the pitman would fall out or get out of position, okay? I'm gonna go just a little further here. That's too tight. And I don't like that the screw is bent, but that's okay. So that's probably okay, that much. Maybe I'll try a little bit more. There, okay, I like that. You know, the thickness of those punchings in there are about this, and there's two of them. So it would have to move the thickness of this punching. All right, we'll snug it up a bit. But I do need the lever to fall completely on, putting its whole weight on the rod here. I don't want it floating on the screw. That's not what it's meant for. Okay, that's it. So we've got the pedal, we've got this much till it engages, then it pushes up that far, and then the stop block stops it on the up. It's the up stop for it. Some pianos will have a screw adjustment for that up stop, but not Steinway's. You just glue a felt block in there, okay? All right. So we're not done tonight. We have to put on the sostenuto system. But that's working great. So let me show you what we're up against with the sostenuto. Let me grab the action out. Get this out of our way. Many people fear the sostenuto system on an old Steinway, but you need not fear. We will get it working. And I'll show you why it can be challenging. If you don't already know. So, let me go get the parts we need. We need a rail, and on a Steinway, the rail attaches on the action, not in the back cavity like you would see on every other piano in the world. So, why? I don't know, but let's go grab those parts. I'll bring them right back to the bench here. Meanwhile, we'll put these up. Okay. This is our old-timey sostenuto rod. They look a little bit different now, but it's essentially the same function. I'm going to wipe it down for dust. Take the part label off it. Okay. Let's get this tape off it. We don't need that because it's going to be on the action now. Don't think we'll lose track of it at this point. This little guy is called the Monkey. The Steinway Monkey. Okay. No, I don't know how it got its name, you ask. Okay. So this rail is going to basically clamp on here on these brackets, and the Monkey attaches to a spring down here, but we need to get the brackets that go on the end. I just have them in a pill bottle here. Let me grab them. Sorry, I'm trying to get the camera set up. Okay. That's important. That goes in my kit. Okay. We're starting to run out of parts for this piano, which is a good sign. That means we're almost done with it. So here's the brackets that go on the ends that we just set aside. I really don't need to recondition the felt in here or anything. It doesn't affect the function of it at all, really, that I've seen. And so these just attach onto the end here. I'll try and get a good view of this while we're doing it. Not super easy on this one. Okay. So I'm gonna just slip that on there. Same thing for the other side. And actually this one says it's the base. Okay, I'll put it on the base, but they're usually interchangeable. We'll put this one on the base that says base. This one on the treble. Okay, now I have these parts here. I'll show you. I have these leather pieces. Then I have a threaded nut and a bolt. Okay, and then I have a wood screw with a washer. And the wood screws, they all, so each attachment needs both, one of each of these types of fasteners. So we're going to put down, first we're going to put down a couple pieces of leather, just set them here, that's where they go, like that. And then I cannot do this with two hands. Let me see what I can do. See if I can give you a view of this at all. Okay, well that's not bad, right? We're looking right here. Okay. So I'm going to stick this, I'm going to undo this nut. Washer goes on the top. I'm just going to set this on top. Put that guy back where he goes. Okay. I'm going to set this on top, and I'm going to stick this nut, or this, what do you call that, bolt, and put the nut on the bottom. Sometimes a good way to do it is to push it up and back thread it so you get in the threads of the nut, and then just kind of turn it in. Okay, there, that's pretty good. I'll get my screwdriver too. So just hold the nut still while I'm snugging that up just a bit. Okay. Don't need it totally tight yet. And then I'm going to put a wood screw in this hole, which goes into a dowel. See, the Steinways have a brass tube, and a dowel is pounded into that tube. So the dowel is what everything screws into. Same thing up here, okay? So that's how those work. So that's why it's a wood screw on that position. Okay. So there, I'm just going to run this in. And I'm going to fasten all the others in the same way, okay? See if I can get you a view of that. Okay, the rail only goes as far as the dampers, right? I usually put this middle one on first, but it doesn't matter. Okay, same thing. I'm going to put the leather pieces on. Now, I'm a little concerned because I don't have the right amount. Oh, yes, I do. Good. Whew. I thought I didn't have the right amount of leather pieces, but I do. Same thing, I can just flip this over, and usually I'll run the wood screw in first because it's easier than threading that nut. Just to tack it up here, you know, initially, I can work with it. Back thread that and stick that in. Okay. Do the same thing to these over here. Did a good job of knocking those off. Patience is the key here. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't pay to go fast. Okay, and let's tighten that on. 2 more pieces of leather and 1 more bracket, just right. Here's my wood screw. This leather is not seated quite right. That'll affect the height of that a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to put all the rest of the bolts in. Just going to hold the bolt underneath where I can see the hole through the top. Hold the nut down there and stick this, my leather piece came out. I need like 3 more fingers for a second. Stick that leather piece back in. Okay. Let's try that again. Stick this through the thing. All right, I'm going to hold that nut still while I tighten this. Good. Next. Let's see if anyone's saying anything in the chat. I should probably check, huh? Don't think we have any comments. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, I've got I'm supposed to prep a Yamaha for somebody, and they joined, and they're wondering why am I not getting on it, basically. But we'll get it done. And Kirk says he's learning a lot watching these repairs. That's good. If there's something to learn, we'll keep going. Okay. Let's stick this here. Yeah, I'm going to be pulling out a brand new Yamaha C7 to prep in the next week or so, and I'll stream that, and that'll be very interesting. Or it won't. We'll see, depending on you. Okay, last one here. Get the nut in there. And tighten that. Okay, so I have these tightened down initially, and they just need to be snug just to hold that rail. There's 2 fasteners, so it doesn't take a whole lot to hold them in place here. I'm going to back this one up. I can see kind of a lack of stain. The metal is shiny where these were located, probably, if you can see that a little bit. So I'm going to look, the rail's kind of bent out right now. I need to push that in, right, and screw them tight there in this new position. So that's where I'm gonna start out. There's a good bet that I'll be really close if I just put the rail there first. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Check these. This middle one, I need to push the rail back just a little bit. I'll loosen the screws. Push that back just a bit. Okay. And actually, I think I had it in a better spot before. Okay. Now that I see. Okay, now what remains is the monkey here. I'm going to take the monkey and I'm going to take my screwdriver in here and pry up this spring. Okay, you can't really see that, can you? Here's the spring. I'm going to pry up that leaf spring. It's that black metal thing in there. The black right there with my screwdriver. And I'm going to pry him up high enough that I can put the monkey down into it. Okay. See if I can do that without spilling my phone on the floor again. There. Now, so there's a dowel that comes up. See, this is carved away. There's a dowel that will be right underneath this when the action's in the piano, and it pushes the monkey up and activates the blade, which catches these tabs when they go up. So the note is played, the blade engages and holds this note up, this damper, so that that note will continue to ring. Now, does anyone use this pedal? Not really very much, but occasionally it is used. A lot of times I'll get requests to repair it when there's nothing wrong with it, just because people aren't familiar with how it's supposed to function right. So that's, you know, one of my easier repairs, right? Obviously, but okay. Alrighty then. So now we're going to stick it in the action to see how it's behaving, because we're kind of flying blind here. Okay, we've got this floating rail that needs to connect at the right height with all those red tabs in there. And we're kind of blind, except we did see where it was positioned before. And if nothing got too bent or tweaked in the dismantling and putting it back on again, we should be close. So, the first test I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put you over here for this. All right, let's see what we got. Just checking our view here on the dampers. Okay, by the way, thanks for joining. Okay. I'm going to position the action with the cheek blocks. Very, very important, right? These end blocks, they tell us where that needs to go. All right, now let's see. The very first check, I'm just going to push the sostenuto pedal, or sorry, I'm going to push the right pedal, the damper pedal up, sustain pedal. Then, here we go. Pedal, push the right pedal, then push the left pedal down. Hold it. Oh, nothing happened. Let's see what's going on under there. I think we're missing a little something. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to have to take the action out again, or at least peek in there for a second. That dowel is there. But guess what? Well, I'm going to pinch that guy down. Let's try again. So, there's a little dowel down there and he was up. So let me make sure. Let's check our alignment down there. Let's see. Nope, can't see. That's one of the reasons this is difficult. I'm gonna push the right pedal, then the middle. But I can hear it operating, okay? So I'm gonna grab my trusty dusty little wand, and I can stick him down in the strings, and I can just check that the blade is moving. Let's see if I can actually show you that. There, you can see him down there, right down here. You can see it now. Now you can't, because yeah, that was dumb. Oh, we had it too, right? Let's try and refresh that. Zoom. Okay. Stick the light down. Get this. You know, this isn't easy. Okay. You can see something flashing down there. That's the blade engaged. So the blade is engaging just beautifully. Now the issue is that it's too far towards the pianist to hit those tabs. Okay, so we're going to take the action out. So it's just not engaged deep enough into the action to actually hit what we need it to hit. But it's functioning beautifully. So I normally do this on my lap, but since I can't put you on my lap, and you wouldn't want that, all right, I'm gonna just loosen these screws that hold the bracket there, right? These two screws that we put on before, and I'm gonna pull this out to about there, because where I looked, it was just kind of barely missing. And I'm going to do the same thing to each bracket. Loosen, loosen, pull. Just a tad. Maybe about three millimeters is what I'm doing. And I'm putting my left hand behind there because I have to hold that nut. Remember to loosen it. Okay. We are ready to see what's going to happen here. Just about. Pull this one out. About that much. 3-4 millimeters. Tighten it down. Okay, let's check it out. Oh, I'll show you that dowel, right, that I couldn't show you before. It's just right here. So when I push the middle pedal, watch what happens right here. Boop. Right, it pushes that monkey up and down. All right. Okay. Super duper. And on Steinway, some Steinways, you have to watch that dowel's not sticking up when you push the action back, or you can break the monkey. So, did I remember to check? Yeah, I did. So, it's down. Okay, now if you look at the dampers, I'm going to push the right pedal, push the middle pedal. Ah, I saw something happen that time. Let go. Now it held most of them up. Now when I release the middle pedal, oh, nothing happened. That's weird. It's not, retracting. Okay. Why? I don't know. So I'm going to stick my light down there. See what's going on. Probably It's just stuck on those tabs. They're just in the wrong spot. Why did the monkey not go down? I'm gonna check this end. I can still feel spring in the pedal. There's a spring below that's operating fine. But I'm not feeling the spring above. It's just the pedal's operating below and the blade's just stuck like this. That's a new one. I don't remember ever seeing that, but so I'm going to stick my light down here and I'm going to see if I can locate the monkey and push him down. No, no good. Let's see what the deal is with that, huh? Let's see what happens. I'm going to take the cheek blocks out. Take those cheek blocks out, and then I'm just going to pull the action towards me a little bit and see if it releases. Okay. Damper's released. What happened to the monkey? The dowel is still up. I wonder if it's like just in the wrong spot and getting caught. I'm gonna see. Push the action in again. Not quite all the way. Okay, it did the same thing. I still don't know what's going on. This is not a common issue, so I gotta kind of troubleshoot it here. Almost pushed the action in. Okay, there's the dowel. If I had to guess, it's that the monkey and the dowel may not be lining up so great. Let's see, but before that, I'm going to back off or actually I'm going to push the rail just a little further, the sostenuto rail, a little further away from me. And then I'm going to bend, I can bend these brackets up. They're a soft metal, they're meant to be bent. I'm going to bend it up just a little bit. Actually, I forgot, this old style does not bend so well. So forget what I said about being meant to bend up. Proving it a little more difficult on this one. Okay, pushing that in a little more. Now remember though, it was working. I'm telling myself here, I'm talking to myself. It was working fine before the sostenuto blade wasn't hitting the tabs at all. So it might just be that we need to just go a little bit further in and it'll be fine. And when I say a little bit further in, I mean move the blade of the sostenuto a little bit closer to those tabs. Just like I did earlier, but just a little more. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, that dowel is down. Push it in. Put my cheek blocks in. Okay, the action's in the right spot. Push the right pedal. Push the left pedal. Holds them up. It's caught. Okay. We're not any closer to figuring out what's going on. But if I pull it slightly, it goes down. Go figure. Now the spring that's on the monkey is very strong, so it's unlikely. You know, it's not that the blade is just getting caught. It's that it's. I think this dowel is getting caught somehow. I'm gonna pull this dowel out of the hole. You know, you can just pull it out. And I'm going to stick the action in and try and look up through the hole from the bottom to see how it's lining with the monkey. I think that's my best bet to figure out what's going wrong here. So why don't you come down with me here? Okay. So we're looking up here, okay? There's where that dowel went through. And this lever here pushes it up. Everything's fine. This lever has a spring. Up here there's a leaf spring that pushes it back down when you're done pushing it with the pedal. And this lever has a leaf spring too. It's a compound lever that lifts that. Okay, great, no problem. But let's see, I need to remove this lever so I can look straight into this hole and see how it aligns, okay? Let me go get my drill to undo those screws. All right. Getting a little dirty tonight. Okay, let's see if we can give you a view of that. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'm just gonna take out these screws and these mounting blocks. Go. Just about. Okay, I just about swallowed that one. That was fun. Give me a little cut lip there. All right, so this is going to come down soon, perhaps. All right, you can see the leaf spring there I was talking about. Now we're going to look up into this hole and see if we can see how the monkey lines. Look, it's so dark. Let's get a light. It just happened to have this secondary phone in my pocket, which I will now use to illuminate this hole. Okay. All right, let's see if we can line up the camera somehow. Easier said than done, right? All right, I'm gonna hold him behind here. Okay, that's a better move. So I can look in this hole and see there's the bottom of the monkey. But what I notice, well, it's actually pretty well aligned. This is very hard to do, folks. Okay. I'll figure it out. I will figure this out. Okay. No. Okay. All right. The monkey's there, but it's kind of there we go. There's the bottom of the monkey. That's leather. And that's how it lines up. So it should still work. But I'm going to push the dowel in here with my finger and see if it operates smooth. If that operates smoothly, then the issue is not with the dowel lining up with the monkey. Okay, so here's my dowel. If you want to come down here with me. Okay. We're going to stick this in here like so and push up. It releases free just fine. Is the action in? And I'm feeling the resistance. Sorry. I'm feeling the resistance of the monkey just fine. What is going on? Let's see if it pushes harder up here. Okay, something with the tabs then. Or is this pushing it in a certain way where it's not releasing? You know, at a certain angle, because there's some friction on this hole. But I don't think that's it either. But just in case it is it, I'm going to spray this with some lubricant here. Okay. But I don't think that's it. Let me grab some lubricant. And just for one moment. So I'm kind of anxious to solve this, you know. Let's get up here where you can see. This is a molybdenum lubricant. I'm going to spray it on this dowel. Just kind of all over. Let that dry for a sec. Just kind of coated it. It's very stinky. This is McLube 1708. I don't use it that often, but I am today. So we're going to let that dry for a sec. Meanwhile, I'm going to do another test. Oh, no, I can't. I got to wait for this to dry. What I want to do is push with my hand down there, push this dowel up there. Well, I'll push the sustain pedal with one of my hands and then push the dowel and see if it operates the way it ought to. You know, one thing I can check is, no, I can't because it's all apart. All right, I just got to wait. Just got to be patient here. Okay. All right. Okay, I think this is good enough. Just gonna wipe that kind of dry. You know, it's kind of, there's kind of some roughness on here. I'm gonna sand it a little bit. Let me get some sandpaper. That was easy, it was right there. Okay. I don't think this is going to fix it, but I just thought I would address it while I'm at it. Okay, let's go test down here. So, I will get to the actual problem though. We'll figure it out. All right, I'm going to just have to put you over here and hope that you can see something useful here. So, sorry about that. Okay, here's our hole. Here's our pitman. Operates fine and smooth. See if one way is more slick than the other or something. That's maybe a little better that way. So with my hand, I'm going to depress the sustain pedal, then push this up. It's working just fine. Something with the pedal, perhaps. Oh, there it went. I can feel it's working fine when I do it this way. Okay. Okay, that doesn't leave me with much. Other than, at this point, I'm wondering about some kind of friction on this part. I'm going to sand this contact on the leather here just a little bit. Achoo! It's kind of sneezy down here on the floor. Okay, I'm just going to lightly, just sanding the leather just gets the gunk off it, makes it smooth. Let's see what that feels like. That's totally smooth right there. Rubbing that on there. Okay, so we're going to mount this again. Where it goes. Don't worry, I know which way to turn screws. Remember, I back thread them to get them in the threads first till they pop and then go forward. Okay, drill, assistant, drill. Oh, guess what I forgot? My little dowel. Great. Reverse. I could put it in from the top, but the action's already in. We're already down on the floor. Before we get too far, we'll just do it this way. Okay, I can just scoot that over probably. Okay, put that guy in there. Hey, maybe it was just lubrication on the pitman. Wouldn't that be nice? And all right, there we go. Screw these in. Always, if you work on pianos, you're gonna find something that you haven't seen before, like all the time. Okay, that's operating smooth just fine here now. Okay, let's do our test again. Push the sustain pedal down, push the middle pedal. It's working now. Could it be? Could it be that this was just hanging up because the lever's just pushing it at kind of a weird angle and that hole was just had too much friction on it? Or maybe there was an object stuck in there, maybe? I don't know. It didn't seem that way to me, but that's what seems like is happening now. So, hey, we're going to do the same old test here. Okay, right pedal, middle pedal, holds them all up, great. Now I'm going to release the middle pedal slowly. I want to see these drop like rainfall. This was a little bit later, so I'm going to back the treble side up, back it up just a little bit. But before I do that, I should check the other checks. So here's the other check. How does this middle pedal work? You play a chord, then depress the middle pedal. It holds just those dampers up. shouldn't jump up past that blade and get caught, and they're not. Now I'm going to release the middle pedal, and those would release. Okay, so that's how it works. So we're in a good shape actually, as far as adjustment wise. Usually the battle is just adjusting it correctly, the height of it, and then whether it's far enough in towards the things to catch the tabs or not. Okay. So I'm just backing this treble side up just a tiny bit, and maybe this one too, the two rightmost brackets, just loosening them, pushing the rail back a bit. Okay, gonna go back in here, put this cheek box on. Okay, let's give it a try. Right pedal, middle pedal, holding the right pedal, middle pedal down, let go of the right pedal. Now, slow release. Should drop like rain, fall evenly across the board. That is beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. Let's just listen to that once. That's what you want to see. And then we play a random chord. Press the pedal. It's great. It holds it at a great height. Now one more adjustment. I told you there's an upstop to all these pedals, right? There's a point where it engages, where the mechanism engages, and then there's a point where we can make it stop. And we want it actually to stop right about where the pedal lifts these already, okay? We don't want to have to lift it much higher, but this one, look, when we do this, they lift way higher, right? So we're going to adjust that upstop underneath, again, a felt block, so that it doesn't lift them up so high. I like where it's engaging. It's working great. But we're going to get another piece of felt from somewhere. Oh, look! We have a little piece that I cut off from the sustain pedal. Let's see if that will work. Okay. So I'm going to stick this. Remember, you're not going to remember if you're just joining in, but here is the upstop block for the sostenuto. If I put this on top of him, let's see if he works, okay? It might be a little much. It might be a little thick. We'll see. My hunch is a little thick. Let's check it out. So the goal is that when we engage that pedal, we're not lifting the dampers higher than they're already, much higher than they're already lifting. Oh, look at that. Okay, my hunch is wrong. That is like perfect, okay? Okay, we're gonna glue that block in place. We're in business. We in business. Okay, I'm just gonna, just like I did before, I'm just gonna put some glue on there and stick it in. You don't need to see that, right? You don't want to see that. Just a little dab of glue. You know, stick it on top of that felt block just to hold it in place. It doesn't have to hold up a bridge or anything. Just has to stay still and not fall out of there. Okay. Now, in the chance that I put that felt block in there slightly different than when we tested it dry, I'm going to check it again. Great. So now we can. chunk all we want. Or whatever we want to do. Everyone always says they need it for the Rachmaninoff prelude and that's prelude in C sharp minor. Sure, if you want to use it there, great. I don't know that much about that one, so my hands are kind of dirty, is what I'm looking at right now. But we adjusted the sostenuto, and it's working. And by golly, that's like the last thing we need to do on this piano, besides just let Christoph do his magic. He's already started polishing this. He started to satinize it by rubbing and sanding, right? You can see some polishing compound and sand dust. So he's working on it. I'll show you the lid. It's gonna look way, that smear will all be gone. That's just dirt, right, from sanding. And he's gonna put, let me show you. There's the lid. You know, we've got to put the hinge on the lid. But there's the lid. Isn't that beautiful grain? Oh, it's gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful. And he's been working on the other part of the lid over here. So you can see where he's sanded and not sanded, right? He sprayed the lacquer on and then he rubs it to get this satin look. But it's going to look gorgeous. I'll give you we'll do a little thing once it's all together. And then we'll get paid on the job and do a dance together. And but that's great. Oh, let me show you here. Here's a 9-foot Steinway, and we've started to string it now. I'm getting super excited. We did a new bridge cap on it. It was refinished in polyester. It used to be satin black, and it was so beat up. It was in a school. This thing was made out of Bondo. It was so bad. But listen to this board, okay? That's like a huge boomy speaker. So when we finish stringing, you just hear how that just goes on forever. So when we finish stringing, Landon's started stringing it. He'll be done probably. He'll probably finish it up almost tomorrow or get really close. And so that's that. We've got some other projects. There's one he strung the other day that we showed a little bit of. That is that's for another technician. So all we needed to do on that one was string it, and then he's going to put it together. This one we have yet to start. We'll do. Hopefully we can get some good before and afters on this guy, if they haven't already ripped the strings out. Oh, good, they haven't. This is going to be a great one. This is an old piano, old piano too. Even older than the A that I'm working on right now. The customer's not having everything done to that might, you know, make it better. But yeah, it's even older than this A. But there we go. Thanks for hopefully I didn't get too silly for you tonight. But we got that sostenuto working. We adjusted the pedal, the sustain pedal, in the way it needs to be. The left pedal was working already. We already set that. So all the pedals are working. All we need to do is put on the hardware and we're good to go. So thanks for watching.